I went to a Just Stop Oil meeting the other night, well, a few months ago now. And I'm not here to slag off Just Stop Oil. I think for me, I don't agree with the tactic of disrupting the general public. But part of me thinks maybe I'm wrong and they're right. I don't know. Don't judge. I don't judge in these moments of people and making decisions of how to act. I don't know. Maybe they're right. I'm wrong, but I sort of don't feel it is right to disrupt the general public. That's my sense and my decision of it. But I went to a kind of an open evening, and they talked about how bad the climate crisis is and how bad it's going to get, and then sort of trying to get people to sign up to act um, in response to that knowledge. And the vision they painted of the world, of how bad the world is going to get, it was very much terrifying people, terrifying people into acting on the climate crisis. And they're not wrong. They're not wrong about how terrifying the future is, that is for some and is increasingly for more and is heading towards us more and more. It is terrifying. But I don't think fear can be the really thing that motivates us. Maybe it can be part of what motivates us, but I think it's not sustainable for fear to be what motivates us, for the only thing that keeps us doing this work week after week, year after year, decade after decade, to be terror of the future. Joanna Macy, the great Buddhist teacher and writer on climate, said that she is convinced that if this world is to be healed, it will be by ordinary people whose love for life is even greater than their fear. We need a love that is greater than fear. And we need a hope that is greater than fear. I turn increasingly nowadays to the old ancient Jewish prophets, because what they did was tell the truth of what is going on politically, economically in their society, say how bad it is, and also offer a hope, a vision of a better world that is on its way, a vision of something better that is possible, that is heading towards us, that is coming for those who are in grief, for those who have been through devastation, devastating times. Martin Luther King was drenched in that kind of thinking and was very much himself a prophet of the 20th century. You know, he looked and he experienced and he knew the devastation of his society, of racism, of poverty, of all these things. And he told the truth of the terror, the terribleness of it, and said, I have a dream of a promised land that we're heading to. There is a better land we're heading to. It's not going to be easy to get there. I may not get there with you, but there is a promised land that we are heading to. There is a vision, I have seen it, of something better that we are heading towards. And I think facing the crises of the 21st century, everything that's going on, the climate and ecological crisis, the political and economic crises we're part of, we need both truth about what's happening and maybe a bit of fear about what it is and what it will become. But I think what we need is a vision, a hope of something better, of a world where we're not exhausted, a world where there's not injustice, a world where there is peace, a world where there is justice, a world where there is rest, where we can sit and enjoy the abundance of nature and live in harmony with the abundance of nature in a lush, green, beautiful world where we sit under trees and eat the fruits of those trees and enjoy them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not being just optimistic here. This isn't about optimism. In fact, I think as things get worse, more than ever, we're going to need that hope and we're going to need that vision of something better. Not saying, oh, don't worry, this is where we're heading in any case. It's saying, no, we're in hard times and we need the vision, the hope that's going to be even bigger than the fear that we have. One of the early followers of Jesus called Paul wrote, do not be conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds. Don't be conformed to the fear. To be fearful is being conformed to this world and what it's doing to us, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds. And how do we renew our minds? We renew our minds by renewing our imagination, by having a dream, a vision, a hope, an imagination of the way the world could be. Our imagination is colonized by this world, and we have to decolonize our imagination. We have to have an imagination of something that is different than this neoliberal capitalism order that is destroying the world, that is creating the climate crisis, that is making us miserable. We need the imagination to get together in community, to do the work, to do the activism, to do the justice, but with an imagination, with a hope, with a dream, with a love that is even greater than our fear.